Welcome back, everyone, and today, as you guessed from the title, I wanted to talk about Borderlands 3 and the Nintendo Switch. The news that Borderlands 3 will not be on the Nintendo Switch came out kind of while I was on my hiatus, I think like a week before I came back, and it shouldn't have been any shocking news to anybody because we haven't had a Borderlands game on any console, so why now? Well, the Nintendo Switch did just come out, and it's a little bit more powerful than old Nintendo stuff, but it's still behind the curve on technology, and that really pissed me off. So this is actually more about my anger with Nintendo than anything else. And I love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. The NES was technically my first video game system. I mean, we had a computer back in the day with a few games on it. I had cousins with an Atari, but we didn't have one. And it's fucking sad. I grew up playing Mario and Zelda, and, Mario Kart a little bit later on with Super NES, and so many of these great games and franchises, and now we just don't have it anymore, really. Nintendo's been behind the curve for so long on technology now. It's just frustrating that they keep kind of repeating the same sins, and since the Wii sold really well, it's like they believe that they can keep redefining gaming, but gaming is gaming, and just make a good gaming experience first and foremost. The Wii, the last Nintendo console I owned was the 64, to be out there. I kind of stopped playing video games for a while. I would have had the GameCube, but I just wasn't playing video games at that time frame. So, the Wii sold really well as a console, but it was also a lot cheaper than the other ones and family-oriented and all that stuff, and that was kind of good marketing, but I feel like although they sold a lot of consoles, I think with game sales and everything else, I don't think they beat out Xbox in that generation. If someone has the stats on that, please share it, but I guess it's anecdotal. Everyone I knew with a Wii, it was really cool at first. You had Wii Sports, and you had bowling and ping pong and baseball and all that stuff. And then you got Mario Kart, and Mario Kart was actually a really good experience on the Wii. But other than that, my friends that are really into Smash had that, and that was really it. But Smash on the Wii was kind of a shitty experience for Smash because it was shitty hardware. The Wii wasn't even HD, where everything else in that generation was, even if it wasn't full 1080 HD. A lot of stuff was more 720, but everyone was using a GameCube controller to even play Smash, and I'm sure they would rather have played Smash on the Xbox or Xbox 360 or PS3 at that time. It would have been a much better experience to play that game. So, Nintendo nails the software, but they fucking suck at hardware. The handheld market's gotta be dying for them with what cell phones can push now. Why buy a Game Boy when you can play all that stuff on your phone? The DS is cool, and you do have controls and that stuff, but you can buy a gamepad to hook your cell phone into and play that. That's what they should do if they want to build hardware, is just do a Game Boy gamepad that you can click your phone into, and then use those controls to play Nintendo games that they release on phones. That should be their new phone system, or their new handheld game system. It's just a controller pad you can hook your phone into. On the console side, it just pisses me off. So that new Zelda trailer, it looks really beautiful, but then when you take a second look at it, you're like, that looks really beautiful for 2 generations ago. And then it came out that the new Zelda is going to be running at 900p 30 FPS. That's fucking terrible. This is 2017. Now, I hate to get all PC elitist and spec war on everyone, but seriously, 30p FPS and not even 1080 on first-party software. The PS4 and the Xbox One don't run 60 FPS and 1080 on everything, and I think that's a fucking travesty in 2017 with the hardware available to us. That's mediocre to low range for PCs now to only get 60 FPS and 1080. Usually you're running higher than that. And a brand new console, not even out yet, with a first-party game, because first-party games always run better. Like, the first-party PlayStation 4 games pretty much hit 60 FPS 1080. And the fact that this Nintendo can't do even that. And I know that they're trying to do this cool, like, it's handheld and it's a console and you can take it with you. And on paper that sounds cool, but you have to make a lot of compromises to get that. And I don't need that. I don't need to take those games with me, necessarily. And if you do, actually, NVIDIA Shield is a better way to do that. Because NVIDIA Shield performs better. And you can play your games at full spec on your PC, and then maybe scale it down in the Shield. I'm not sure, how much it scales it down and stuff, but there are ways around that where you can do it better, but Nintendo's not really doing that. They're making this really compromised thing. Like, I don't even know if it's as powerful as an iPad. You have shitty battery life. It's so compromised. And the Wii U, I don't think the Wii U outside of Smash sales did anything. I want to play these Nintendo games on decent hardware. Like, I get kind of being creative with the graphics, so you don't need to like push so many specs to have this good performance and stuff. A lot of indie games do that on Steam, and they're really awesome games and beautiful games that don't necessarily have the most amazing graphics, but they have a really beautiful art style. Banner Saga comes to mind. It's a franchise I like, and they even run on cell phones. I have Banner Saga on my phone now. I think that's fucking cool. And it's just an absolutely beautiful game. Limbo is a beautiful indie game. But Nintendo isn't some little indie darling game dev. They're fucking Nintendo. Like, they're the biggest out there. So, yeah, it's just, I'm really pissed off about the Switch. Because when I first heard the rumors about the Switch, it said it's going to be pushing better hardware than the Xbox One and the PS4. And it turns out that isn't the case. And my dream of like playing a Zelda game on modern hardware is once again destroyed, because now I'm going to be playing a Zelda game on essentially like Xbox somewhere between the 360 and the One, which is very old hardware at this point. And to me it's just inexcusable. I really hope Nintendo fails miserably and they just start making software only, because their hardware division sucks, but their games are so good. And they've made great games for their handhelds as well. And I'd like to play more of those, just on my phone. Nintendo could kill in the mobile game field. And they just put out that game now. I got Fire Emblem or something. I have it downloaded on my phone. I just downloaded it this morning. I have yet to play it. Maybe I'll record some of that and put that out. But, yeah, man, I was so disappointed when all that Switch stuff came out, because like I said, I was so pumped for like modern Nintendo hardware, and you didn't get it. Instead we got another gimmick. I don't want gimmicks, I just want a good game performance, and I want to be able to play Nintendo software with a good gaming experience, and that has been impossible for probably over a decade now. That's fucking terrible. I mean, how old was the Wii? I mean, the GameCube was really their last competitive hardware console, I believe. I don't remember the specs on that compared to the other specs, but and it even seems like the 64 was like spec-wise way behind PlayStation. Because yeah, they couldn't push the pixels like the PlayStation could. All their stuff was like big and blocky. So yeah, that's my little rant for today. Is of course Borderlands 3 won't be able to run on the Switch because it's really fucking old hardware. I mean, maybe the Handsome Collection and Borderlands 1 could come out on the Switch, and you could take it with you. Like, that'd be kind of cool, and you could play it for like an hour. Maybe you can finish a peak run before the battery dies. I'm not sure. Kind of like, the Borderlands on the PS Vita. Remember all the compromises they had to do on that. So, I don't know. I say it's time to give up the playing console games on a handheld and just, have handheld games and have console games. And some of them, like I said, Banner Saga or the Telltale games, there's some that are soft enough where you can blur those lines and go on both. But to have an actual console with first-party games, you shouldn't have that sacrifice every single game to be able to accomplish that. That you have to play modern first-party games with 30 frames. I'm less upset about the 900p than the 30 frames. Like, the 30 frames is the killer there. And frames do fucking matter. So, that's it. I will see you all later. I am trying or planning on doing a Gauge video tomorrow, so hopefully that works out and I'm able to accomplish that. If I'm not, sorry I said I might do it because that'll disappoint people, but I'm saying that now to make sure I try to do it better. So once again, everyone, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. If you're not following me on Twitter or my Facebook group, you can follow me there, as well as, yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't really check my Steam group. So follow me in those places. I will talk to you all later. Bye.